Sense organs. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain the following. 1. Sensory receptors. 2. Skin as a sense organ. 3. The organ of sight, structure of the eye. 4. Functions of the eye, image formation and accommodation. 5. Defects of the eye and their correction. Sensory receptors. Living organisms have the ability to respond to changes in their environment, known as stimuli. These stimuli can be of various types, including mechanical, electromagnetic, chemical, or thermal. While most cells in an organism's body are capable of sensing stimuli, certain cells specialize in detecting specific types of stimuli. These specialized cells are called sensory receptors or sense cells, and they are abundant in the human body, constantly monitoring the internal environment. Mechanoreceptors are sensory receptors that respond to mechanical changes, while thermoreceptors, chemoreceptors, and photoreceptors are sensitive to heat, chemical substances, and light, respectively. Sensory receptors convert the detected stimuli into electrical impulses, which are then transmitted to the brain. The brain interprets these impulses, translating them into visual images, sounds, smells, or taste sensations. Structures that contain sensory receptors are referred to as sense organs. A sense organ is defined as a group of specialized cells or tissues that can receive, perceive, or detect stimuli, and transmit the information to the central nervous system. In mammals, there are 5 types of sense organs. A. The skin, which detects touch, pain, pressure, heat, and cold. B. The eye, which detects light, sense of sight. C. The ear, which detects sound, sense of hearing and balance. D. The nose, which detects smell. E. The tongue, which detects taste. Skin as a sense organ. The mammalian skin contains numerous sensory receptors that detect various stimuli, such as touch, pressure, pain, cold, and heat. Unlike other sense organs, which specialize in detecting a single type of stimulus, the skin's sensory receptors are capable of responding to multiple stimuli. Sensory receptors are not evenly distributed throughout the skin. Each type of receptor is concentrated in specific regions of the body. Receptors sensitive to pressure, known as Pacinian corpuscles, are found deep within the skin and require stronger stimulation. Receptors sensitive to touch, called Meissner's corpuscles, are predominantly distributed close to the surface of the skin, especially in hairless regions like the tongue, fingers, lips, and forehead. These receptors respond to gentle stimulation. Between the pressure and touch receptors, there are receptors that detect cold, heat, and pain. The organ of sight, eye. The eye is the organ responsible for vision. It has a spherical shape and is protected by ocular or optical structures, such as eye sockets, eyelids, eyelashes, tear or lacrimal glands, and conjunctiva. A. The eye sockets house the eyes. B. The eyelids, upper and lower, protect the eyes from foreign particles or mechanical injury. C. The tear or lacrimal glands, located at the meeting point of the eyelids, secrete a salty fluid called tears, which washes away dust and bacteria using a chemical substance called lysozyme. D. The eyelashes are rows of hairs on the eyelids that protect the eyeball from dust, excessive light, and shield the eye against sweat and water. E. The conjunctiva is a thin, transparent membrane that lines the inside of the eyelids and covers and protects the cornea. In case of infection, the conjunctiva can become inflamed, leading to conjunctivitis. Structure of the eye. The wall of the eyeball consists of 3 layers, from the outermost to the innermost: sclera, choroid, and retina. A. The sclera. This outermost white layer provides the eye with its shape and protects the inner parts. The sclera bulges out in front of the eye, forming the transparent cornea. The cornea allows light to enter the eye, brings the light to focus on the retina, and provides external protection. B. The choroid layer. This highly vascularized and pigmented layer, black, supplies nutrients and oxygen to the eye's cells. The black pigment helps absorb light rays and prevents light reflection. The choroid layer includes the ciliary muscles, iris, pupils, suspensory ligaments, and the lens. 1. Iris. A band of muscle fibers that contracts and relaxes, altering the size of the pupils and controlling the amount of light entering the eye. 2. Pupil. The opening between the upper and lower iris that controls the amount of light entering the eye. Bright light causes the pupil to constrict, while dim light causes it to dilate. 3. Ciliary muscle. Consisting of circular and radial muscles, it contracts and relaxes to adjust the focal length of the lens, enabling the eye to focus on near and distant objects. 4. Suspensory ligaments. Hold the lens in place. 5. Lens. A transparent, biconvex, elastic structure held in position by suspensory ligaments. It refracts light rays entering the eye and fine-tunes the focus of the object's image on the retina. See the retina. This part of the eye is sensitive to light. It is also vascularized, pigmented, and elastic. Light rays converge on the retina, forming images that are real, inverted, and smaller than the actual objects. The retina contains two types of sensory cells called cones and rods. 1. Cones. Cells in the retina that are sensitive to colored vision and high light intensities. They contain a photochemical substance called iodopsin, which is not easily bleached by intense light. 2. Rods. More numerous than cones, rods are sensitive to colorless vision and low light intensities. They contain a purple pigment protein complex called rhodopsin, which is easily bleached by light. 3. Yellow spot, fovea centralis, the most sensitive part of the retina, responsible for sending the most detailed visual information to the brain. It is the point where the image is focused. 4. Blind spot, the area on the retina where there are no cones or rods. The optic nerve exits the eye to the brain from this blind spot. 5. Optic nerves. These nerves transmit sensory impulses to and from the brain. 6. Aqueous humor, a transparent, watery liquid that fills the space between the cornea and the lens. It contains protein, sugar, salt, and water solutions. The aqueous humor refracts light rays onto the retina and helps maintain the eye's spherical shape. 7. Vitreous humor, a whiter, transparent, jelly-like liquid that fills the space between the lens and the retina. It also consists of protein, sugar, salt, and water. The vitreous humor serves the same functions as the aqueous humor. Functions of the eye. The eye performs two major functions: image formation and accommodation. 1. Image formation. Light rays from an object enter the eye through the cornea, pass through the aqueous humor, lens, and vitreous humor, and finally reach the retina. These transparent structures refract, bend, the light rays, allowing them to converge on the retina. As a result, an image of the object is formed on the retina, appearing real, inverted, and smaller than the actual object. The light stimulus reflected from the object is received by the cones or rods, depending on the light intensity. These sensory cells convert the stimulus into electrical impulses, which are then transmitted through the optic nerve to the optic lobe of the brain. The brain accurately interprets the image. To create a sharp image on the retina, all the refracted light rays must meet at a specific point on the retina, known as the yellow spot. 2. Accommodation. This refers to the eye's ability to focus on objects at different distances, enabling clear vision. Accommodation involves adjusting the focal length of the lens to focus near and distant objects onto the retina. 1. To see near objects. 2. The ciliary muscles contract, causing the suspensory ligaments to relax their tension on the lens. 3. The lens becomes more convex, reducing its focal length and allowing the image to focus on the retina. 4. To see distant objects. 5. The ciliary muscles relax, causing the suspensory ligaments to contract and pull on the lens. 6. The lens becomes flattened, elongated, increasing its focal length and allowing the image to focus on the retina. Eye defects and corrections. Eye defects occur when an image cannot be properly formed on the retina. Some common eye defects include a. Short-sightedness, myopia. 1. This defect causes a person to see nearby objects clearly, but distant objects appear blurred. It occurs when the eyeball is longer than normal from back to front, causing light rays from distant objects to focus in front of the retina. 2. Correction. Using spectacles or glasses with concave or diverging lenses that diverge the light rays from distant objects before they enter the eye. This allows the eye to bring the rays to a focus directly on the retina. B. Long-sightedness, hypermetropia. 1. This defect causes a person to see distant objects clearly, but nearby objects appear blurred. It occurs when the eyeball is shorter than normal, causing light rays from nearby objects to focus behind the retina. 2. Correction. Using spectacles or glasses with convex or converging lenses that converge the light rays from nearby objects before they enter the eye. This helps the eye bring the rays to a focus directly on the retina. C. Presbyopia. 1. This eye defect occurs as the lens and ciliary muscle lose their elasticity with age. Light rays from nearby objects are not bent inward sufficiently, causing them to focus behind the retina. 2. Correction. Using converging lenses. D. Astigmatism. 1. This defect is caused by an uneven cornea surface, and can be corrected by using lenses that compensate for the uneven surface. E. Cataract. 1. Cataracts primarily affect older people, causing the eye lens to become cloudy. They can be corrected with a plastic lens or spectacles with suitable lenses. F. Night blindness. 1. Night blindness is caused by a deficiency of vitamin A. G. Conjunctivitis. 1. Conjunctivitis is the inflammation of the conjunctiva, usually caused by bacteria or irritants in the wind. Summary. Let me summary this topic to you for better understanding. 1. A sense organ is a group of specialized cells or tissues that receive, perceive, or detect stimuli, and transmit the information to the central nervous system. 2. A receptor is a specialized cell that detects a specific type of stimulus and converts it into electrical impulses. 3. 4 sensory receptors found in the skin are: A. Mechanoreceptors, detect mechanical changes such as touch and pressure. B. Thermoreceptors, detect temperature changes, including cold and heat. C. Nociceptors, detect pain. D. Photoreceptors, detect light. 4. Comparison between the mammalian eye and a camera. A. Both the eye and the camera have structures that focus light onto a sensitive surface, retina in the eye, film or image sensor in the camera. B. The eye has adaptive features such as accommodation and iris control, while a camera requires manual adjustments. C. The eye can perceive depth and three-dimensional images, while a camera captures two-dimensional images. D. The eye can detect a wide range of intensities, while a camera has a limited dynamic range. E. The eye has a wider field of view compared to a camera lens. F. The eye has a more sophisticated and complex system for image processing in the brain, enabling interpretation and perception. G. The camera can capture images in high resolution, while the eye's resolution is limited. H. The eye has a continuous perception of the visual scene, while a camera captures individual frames. I. The eye provides real-time perception, while a camera captures and stores images for later viewing. J. The eye has the ability to adapt to different lighting conditions, while a camera requires adjustments to exposure settings.